This is a best Terran on the ladder. He is one of the higher ranking players on the ladder and an excellent player. And he is playing against Snow. I always love Snow's PVTs. I love Snow's games in general. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does here. Not going Nexus first, so he's playing a little bit more standard in inverted commas. He's also not playing on his troll account. So let's see what we get from him in this game on Polypoid today. I think we're getting a command center here relatively early based on our scouting. So there we go. We're going a Rax expand, which is quite aggressive. I know that having watched Snow play against Artosis quite recently, he tends to find the Rax expand from a Terran player to be quite offensive, like it hurts his feelings. How dare you do it against me, he says. So let's see what he does today. That SCV does get killed by the probe, heroic probe, and he's going to throw down a 23 Nexus. So another way of thinking of a 23 Nexus is a 2 goon, and then you build your Nexus approach. So the first goon is already en route to the bunker, as we can see, and the second one is in the production tab, about to pop out of the gateway. In fact, there he comes. Okay, so pretty standard stuff from both players. I've got no doubt that because of the factory being later than it would have been if it was a standard factory expansion, that Snow is going to hit this bunker with his Dragoons and to try and force out a repair, just to stall and to get some economic parity. So what is the style of PVT we've been watching a lot at the highest level? Obviously Snow, being as good as he is, tends to sort of stuff around and do all sorts of builds. But I think the one that is the meta and played at the highest level by the best players of these two races is certainly the speed shuttle High Templar Storm drop style. The initial opening is always Reavers to put on a bit of economic harassment and to also slow down the progress of the Terran build by forcing out turrets and killing a few tanks, etc, etc. So the robotics is already in the production tab, as we can see, and I've got no doubt that that is going to be the build that we see from Snow today, because it's already obvious just based on the opening that he takes his opponent a little bit more seriously than he maybe would take some more random or lower level Terran players on the ladder. So he's going with the observatory before the support bay, but I expect to see the support bay in the production tab relatively soon. You can see here he's made a very narrow window so he can block up for any vulture harassment. So he certainly is taking this opponent more seriously than you sometimes see him take others. He accidentally shot his own Dragoon there. That's funny. Alright, so we've got our repairs going here. We've got 4 SCVs repairing this bunker. I think our Terran is waiting for one more tank or for siege mode. So siege mode kicks in and boof, that goon gets shot in the face and he retreats just in time. Doesn't lose anything. Probably just going to set up a soft contain here to block the vulture from getting out, but he's forced out siege mode. So the next thing I expect to see from Snow would be a 3rd Nexus. As I say that, he pops it down. Okay, so a nice counter to the Rax expand. You put the goon pressure on, there's no vulture getting out because you force out siege mode. You get a very quick 3rd expansion, and then you progress with your build from there. So where is the support bay? Let's see. So no support bay as of yet. If Snow is going to play a Reaver-less game of PVT, that in of itself is actually quite exciting. So if he isn't going to try and win it with Reavers, the question is, what is he going to try and win it with? Throwing down another gateway now, so going up to 3 gate obs. Going up to 4 gate obs. This is going to be a pylon by the looks of it. Like the Terran music. I haven't played the Starcraft music in a long time, as I've mentioned, so quite enjoying it. There we go. The Goliath comes into the sea. He hasn't built an eBay. Has managed to get away with that. He's going to use a Goliath and some scanners. Armory built. Shuttle is in the game. But we don't have a support bay, so they're going to be... There comes the support bay. Okay, so it's delayed, possibly now just for the purposes of shuttle speed. It's difficult to tell. If it's not just for shuttle speed, it's going to be a delayed Reaver. So interesting, a slightly different style from Snow. I watched a few of his games quite recently, and he certainly does try and get the Reaver out ASAP. But at 4 gateway, 3rd base already established, then building his Reaver is certainly a little bit of a different approach to things. Was a little bit of chatter there among the players. No response from the blue player, just Snow typing some things. Maybe trying to be a little bit antagonistic, who knows. Looks like our Terran is going up to 5 facts before building a command center. So certainly a little bit of pressure he could probably apply here. Does already have a decent number of tanks. And Snow doesn't have much by way of units. He's got a pot of dragoons here. He's got no goons here. And he's got 2 here. So all of his army is basically forward. And it has sieged up. Does have some Goliaths in position here. I think anticipating that a shuttle would be incoming. I mean, you know the player profile. You know Snow's profile well as the Terran. So you're going to be expecting Reavers. Yeah, that's why you've got the floating barracks here to spot the shuttle. That's why you've got the Goliaths in a position here. That's why you're probably going to build a turret or 2 over here. So it's all very much expected. So here is the shuttle with a Reaver in it. And a couple of vultures are moved out into the map. A couple of tanks moving out. There's surely not enough Protoss here to engage with that. Wow! Look at the goon juice there. That was beautiful. Loses the Reaver. It's going to have to retreat here. I think Snow is in a little bit of a pickle if our Terran decides to move out. Now that seems to be his plan. So now we're going to see the skill of the man. These 4 goons I don't think are long for this world. One goes down pretty fast. I think he needs to retreat with the others. Decides to try and fight here. Loses another goon. This one's looking pretty low as well. Suddenly now, though, reinforcing goons do come into the equation. A couple of Goliaths are with this army. I suppose the one thing is there's no mines that have been laid, so these goons can move around. But nice micro from this Terran. And these goons are getting pretty low. He needs to run away here. I think Snow's finding himself under a little bit of pressure. Oh, wow. And this Terran is smelling blood. He's going to try and take down this 3rd. He has to pull the probes. Lays mines here. That's going to be problematic, although quite a few of them were picked off. And he's hit siege mode. These goons that were coming back from this side have all been taken out. He's got a couple of tanks that he's sieged a little bit further down the line. That's the end of the racks. And there's nothing really in terms of defensive behind this, but I don't think there needs to be. I think Terran has decided he's going to take down this Nexus. And does Snow have enough here? I think he was maybe a little bit complacent, a little bit slow with his Reaver. And this Terran's just gone for what is a fairly standard 5 factory push off of 2 bases. And is certainly giving Snow a little bit of grief. Alright, so he's picked up a couple of Reavers. And it looks like he's going to go do some counter harassment. Let's see, here he comes with that shuttle, but flying back for now. How many units does he have? He's got 4 goons here. He's got about 7 or 8 goons there. Maybe a flank is the idea. Oh, he's lost that Reaver, I think. Oh, does he have it still? Yeah, he does. He does manage to pick that Reaver up. Drops it behind that singular line. This narrow choke that he built earlier is now actually paying dividends. I think we could expect a flank from the other side from these goons. If this Terran's not expecting it, that could be really painful. Does get in there with some vultures and is starting to pick off a few probes. Has a goon back here. So Snow being really, really smart here. So the purpose of these goons is to actually pick off reinforcing units. So he's got an interception point. But that being said, there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks here. And mines are in position as well. Any Protoss that wasn't Snow, I would have just called this game as over. But I think you can never really afford to do that with him playing. But oh my god, all of those goons just got juiced by those mines. Snow's forced to send his intercepting goons back to try and assist here. He's going to have to pick off the minefields in the meantime. This gives Terran the opportunity to reposition some of his tanks. And he can also now reinforce if he wants to. I think the only variable that remains here is what does he do? Can he really achieve something with his Reavers? Hopes he doesn't drop it by the mines. Oh my god, the number of mines that were tripped there was insane. And I think both Reavers went down, but his retreating goons do kill all the tanks. How does he do this? How does he hold on? That is insane. Now this Terran is like, do I retreat? Do I fight? I think he backs himself with another 6 tanks and 4 Goliaths against a pod of Dragoons. Does siege up. These goons though do target fire on 1 or 2 of the tanks, but has to pull back. And now some zealots that are slow enter the fray. And what a game. I mean, this game has just been absolutely action-packed from beginning to end. A real crackerjack. Very, very fun bringing it to you today. Do hit that like button if you're also enjoying it. So sieges up a couple, keeps a few back. I think now if you're this Terran, you need to get your 3rd going. Get your factory count up slightly more. Maybe get yourself a 3rd gas, although that would require him to establish a 4th base. Maybe just on 3 with minerals, reinforcing with vultures, laying some mines would be more than good enough, because he just needs to, in essence, deny this 3rd, and he'll be fine. But of course, Snow being Snow, actually established a 3rd base over here, and this was the 4th base then, in essence, that got denied. So I don't know if Terran knows about this. If he does, he could march across the map and try and kill that. In fact, if he doesn't, I think that's going to be his loss condition. So I think Terran loses this game if Snow is allowed to keep this 3rd, and the 3rd goes uncontested. Although, regardless of that, he's sending in these vultures to pick off heaps of probes here, and has done some serious damage. The vultures do, the zealots do eventually come in here and tidy these vultures up. But the establishment of Terran here on the doorstep is really going to be painful for Snow to tidy up. But it really wouldn't be asking much to send a vulture around here, a couple of vultures, and harassing this probe line. So I don't think he knows this base is here. Although sending these units across to reinforce there should be a clue to the Terran. So does he try and get some units into position here? Time will tell. There are Reavers here. The game has been non-stop action, non-stop pressure from both players. But I say it again, the fact that this base is alive and has remained unharassed is probably what's keeping Snow in it. 109 plays 102. Only a couple of intercepting goons here. But I think 3v2, it's going to be close, but these goons are not. It's going to be... Oh! Very close. He's establishing a 4th behind this. He's got good map control, so certainly a good position. Although the shuttle Reaver Zealot play from Snow is masterful. Trying to do some mine drags. I think these units are probably sieged up a little bit too close to mines, which could be a bit of a challenge. Again, units from the backside here. Looks like he's setting up for a flank, or at the very least to block and intercept reinforcing units. Snow decides, well, you know what? You probably haven't scouted down here all that much. Let me establish another base. If this base is allowed to stand, then he certainly will have a big advantage in the game. I don't know if he's going to now go and lose a 2nd barracks. That would just be annoying. So slow zealots do absorb a couple of shots. Do we have a citadel? No, so we're just going to play this game with slow zealots. Interesting enough. What is in the shuttle? A couple of Reavers now. So counter harassment seems to be the name of the game. It's got a floating eBay here. It could just fly this straight in to drop on all of these. Nope. Decides that the Reavers would be more beneficial to help with that fight. Good micro from both players though. This has just been a very high quality game. Still no harassment here. Don't think so Brax has discovered that that's there. Now Snow wants to come up and harass the space before it can really get established. The pathing here does make it very difficult for these goons to get up here, and there's quite a few mines, but unfortunately there's only 1 tank, and I think there's more than enough goons. Vultures are going across the map, but I think that's to harass the base on the bottom left side. Oh wow. Okay, so the mines are doing their thing. More goons on the way up. There are a couple of Goliaths coming in to help. Another reinforcing tank as well, though the Reavers here are going to equalize things. On that side of the map, Vultures are harassing this base, so not too much to see, but we do know that it's happening. And more tanks have come to reinforce this. I don't think Snow's going to be able to break this position. And our Terran is now moving into a lead. I don't know how Snow comes back from this. He's going to lose this base here. He cannot send units across to kill all of these vultures. Meanwhile, he is moving some Dragoons forward here to try and break this entrenched position of the Terran. The Mind Drake's becoming counterproductive, as I thought they might, because of how close they'd been sieged up. So Snow is going to be able to break this tank line, but the Terran has established so many bases behind this that the onus is on Protoss to break one of these. He hasn't been able to establish this base, so he is in essence 3 basing versus a 3-4 basing Terran, and that's just too much econ power. So that Nexus does go down, lays a few mines to confirm nothing's going to be re-established there anytime soon. And here comes Snow now, moving out to try and at least get some map presence, but there are just so many vultures here. Even Dragoons against vultures. It's just a numbers game. Does have a few Dragoons and a Reaver over here to do some counter punching, but some siege tanks have sieged up here as well. And Snow taps out. I've seen Snow lose a PVT in 2023. It was a frenetic game. A strange approach by delaying the build on the Reaver, but very, very aggressive, high pressure. I thought that getting this additional base up and running relatively undetected by Snow was going to be what pulled him out of the fire. But the fact that this Terran expanded here and expanded here and was able to hold this position meant that he just had too much reinforcing power out of his 7 factories and was able to pull it off. So not something you see very often, Snow losing a PVT, but it was an absolute crackerjack. There is a reason why this last best Terran alias on the ladder is one of the highest ranked in the entire world, in the top 10, as he's an absolutely fantastic Terran player. So hope you enjoyed the game. It's good to be back, and subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and until next time, take it easy, guys. I'll see you soon.